The year is 1871, and the Arizona Territory is a land of scorched earth and stubborn dreams. The town of Redstone sits like a scar on the desert, its streets baked hard by the sun, its air heavy with the tang of dust and iron. The saloon, a weathered shack called the Copper Fong, is where life pulses, where miners, drifters, and schemers trade whiskey and lies under flickering lamplight. This is where we find Jace Tahoma, a Navajo man of 20, lean and quiet, with eyes that miss nothing. He's sweeping the floor, dodging boots and curses, known to the townsfolk as the Indian Kid or worse. But Jace is no kid, and he's not what they think. He's a survivor, forged in a crucible of loss and cruelty, with a mind as sharp as the knife he keeps hidden. Jace's story begins in shadows. Orphaned at 10 when soldiers razed his family's camp, he was taken by a trader who saw profit in a boy who could work. The trader taught him numbers, cards, and the art of reading men's faces, lessons delivered with a fist when Jace was slow to learn. By 15, Jace was on his own, drifting through towns where he was spat on, cheated, and worse. In Redstone, he's nothing, a saloon hand, invisible to the men who gamble and brawl around him. But invisibility is his strength. He listens, watches, learns. He sees the tells in a card game, the greed in a miner's glance, the fear in a liar's pause. And he's been saving every coin from scrubbing tables, every dollar won in backroom games where he plays just well enough to win, never enough to draw eyes. One night, as Jace hauls out a drunk who's passed out in his own spill, he overhears something that shifts his world. Two men at the bar, voices low, talk of a copper mine, abandoned after a cave-in killed its crew. The land's cheap, they say, but cursed, haunted by the dead, or so the miners believe. Jace doesn't believe in curses. He believes in chances. That night, in the cramped attic above the Copper Fong where he sleeps, he counts his savings. It's not much, but it's enough. Enough to buy a deed, to stake a claim, to become something more than a shadow. He knows it's a risk. Redstone's a town where outsiders don't own land, especially not a Navajo, but Jace has never shied from risks. He's built his life on them. By spring's end, Jace has the deed, bought under a false name scratched on paper with a trembling hand. He's no fool. He knows Redstone's laws don't bend for men like him. The mine's his, but it's a secret he guards like a loaded gun. He keeps sweeping, keeps his head down, but inside he's planning. He'll need men, tools and he'll need to stay alive long enough to make it work. The desert's quiet, but Redstone's not. Whispers start, faint at first, about the mine being claimed. Men at the Copper Fong glance at Jace, their eyes narrowing. They don't know yet, but they sense something, a shift, a spark. Jace feels it too, the weight of their stares, the prickle of danger. He's stepped into a game where the stakes are his life, and he's ready to play. Summer burns Redstone to a crisp, and Jace Tahoma's secret is fraying at the edges. The deed to the copper mine is hidden in the attic, but rumors are spreading. Someone's bought the cursed land, someone bold or stupid enough to defy the town's unwritten rules. At the Copper Fong, the air's thick with suspicion. Men whisper over their drinks, their glances sharp as thorns. Jace keeps his routine, sweeping, hauling, staying silent, but he knows he's being watched. The saloon's owner, a barrel-chested man named Gideon Holt, lingers near him, asking questions that sound casual but cut deep. Where's he from? What's he saving for? Jace answers with shrugs, but Gideon's eyes don't waver. The first to make a move is Emmett Shaw, a miner with a scarred face and a temper like wildfire. Shaw corners Jace behind the saloon, offering to buy in on the mine. His smile's all teeth, his hand on his gun. Jace plays dumb, says he knows nothing about mines, but Shaw's not fooled. He leaves with a warning, don't get ideas above your kind. Next comes Clara Vaughn, Redstone's only banker, a woman with a voice like honey and a grip like steel. She invites Jace to her office, talks of loans and partnerships, but her questions are traps. How'd he get the money? What's his plan? Jace sidesteps, polite but firm, and sees the calculation in her eyes. Then there's the Cutler brothers, a trio of outlaws who've been raiding claims outside town. They don't approach Jace, but their horses are seen near the mine, their laughter carrying on the wind. Jace is a fox in a den of wolves, and the wolves are hungry. He's got no allies, no power, just the deed and his wits. He starts digging at the mine in secret, alone at night, his hands blistered and bleeding. It's slow, dangerous work, but he finds traces of copper, enough to prove the land's worth. The discovery lights a fire in him, but it also tightens the noose. Shaw's men start patrolling the trails, Vaughn's clerks ask pointed questions, and the cutler's raids grow closer. Jace knows he can't hold the mine alone, but trust is a luxury he can't afford. He makes small deals, a miner who owes him a favor, a drifter who'll work for cash, but he keeps them at arm's length, never showing his full hand. The tension in Redstone is a coiled spring, ready to snap. At the Copper Fong, conversations hush when Jace passes. Gideon Holt's questions turn to threats, his voice low and mean. One night, Jace finds a rope tied into a noose left on his broom. He burns it, but sleep doesn't come. He's running out of time, out of moves. He needs to prove the mine's value, to make it too big to steal, but every step forward draws the wolves closer. He's a marked man, and he knows it. Then, one dusk, as Jace hauls water from the well, a figure steps from the shadows. It's Lena, a young woman who mends clothes for the miners. She's quiet, her face marked by smallpox scars, her eyes steady. Jace has seen her before, always alone, always working. She doesn't speak much, but now she does, her voice low. "They're watching you," she says, nodding toward the saloon. "Be careful." Before he can answer, she's gone, her warning hanging in the air. Jace's pulse quickens, not from fear, but from something else. Lena's no ally, not yet, but she's seen him, really seen him, in a town where he's invisible or despised. It's a crack in his armor, a spark in the dark. By fall, Jace Tahoma's mine is yielding copper, small but steady, and Redstone's wolves are closing in. The traces he's pulled from the earth are enough to keep him digging, but they're also proof of what the town suspects. The cursed mine's alive, and the Navajo kids got it. Emmett Shaw's men sabotage his tools, Clara Vaughn's loans come with strings that could choke him, and the Cutler brothers' raids are no longer just rumors. Jace is holding on, but it's a fight on all fronts. He's forged alliances, miners who work for pay, a gambler who shares his watch, but they're fragile, built on money, not trust. Every night, he checks the attic's lock, sleeps with his knife close. The game's getting bloodier, and Jace is tired. Lena becomes his quiet harbor. She's there when he needs her, leaving water by the well when he's parched, stitching his torn shirt without a word. Jace starts seeking her out, not for help, but for the calm she brings. One evening, he finds her at the edge of town, mending a miner's coat by lamplight. He offers to carry her basket, and they walk together, the desert vast around them. Lena's voice is soft, but her words carry weight. She talks of her childhood, a farm lost to drought, a family scattered. Jace listens, then shares a piece of himself, his mother's songs, half-remembered, sung under stars. Lena's eyes meet his, and something shifts. They're two survivors, bound by scars, finding light in a town of lies. Their bond grows in small acts. Jace brings her a cactus flower, its bloom fragile but fierce. Lena shares her supper, bread and beans, warm and filling. One night, they sit by her fire, and Jace teaches her a Navajo game with stones, laughing when she wins. The laughter feels foreign, precious. Lena's touch, when she brushes his hand, is a warmth he's forgotten. He's falling for her, and it scares him. Love is a weakness in Redstone, a blade turned inward. But with Lena, he can't stop. She's his reason to keep fighting, even as the wolves draw near. The threats are no longer subtle. A rock shatters Lena's window, a warning meant for Jace. Shaw's men follow him on the trails, their guns glinting. Vaughn demands payment he can't meet, her smile cold. The Cutlers leave a dead coyote at the mine, its throat cut. Jace knows he's running out of time. Lena sees it too. One night, she pulls him into her shack, her face urgent. She draws a map in the dirt, a canyon, hidden, safe. "Go," she whispers. Jace shakes his head. He's fought too hard to run. But Lena's eyes are fierce, pleading, and he sees she's not asking for herself. She's asking for him. Before he can answer, hoofbeats thunder outside. The wolves are here. Autumn's ash-gray light blankets Redstone, and Jace Tahoma's world is shrinking. The copper mine's output grows, but so does the danger. Shaw's men, Vaughn's clerks, the Cutler brothers, they're all circling, their patience gone. Jace and Lena steal moments when they can, their bond a quiet fire in the storm. She mends his wounds, cuts from falling rocks, bruises from a scuffle. He fixes her door, splintered by a drunk's fist. They share a blanket under the stars, and Jace feels it, love, raw and real, blooming where it shouldn't. Lena wants them to flee, to take the canyon path she showed him, but Jace can't. The mine's his defiance, his proof he's more than Redstone's scorn. Lena's his heart, but the mine's his fight. One evening as they sit by her fire, Lena's hands shake. She tells him of a dream, him, gone, her alone. Jace holds her, promising he'll stay, but the words feel hollow. The town's too close, too cruel. Days later, it happens. The Cutlers ambush him on the trail, their knives flashing. Lena's there, somehow, screaming, throwing stones. They scatter, but not before a blade grazes Jace's arm. Lena drags him to a cave, hidden in the hills, her hands steady as she binds his wound. She cooks broth, the steam rising, and Jace eats, the warmth grounding him. They're safe for now, but the cave's a trap, they can't stay. In the quiet they share truths. Jace speaks of his family, their laughter before the soldiers came. Lena tells of her brother, lost to fever, her guilt for surviving. They hold each other, the world fading. But the world doesn't wait. By dawn, voices echo outside, Shaw's men, Gideon Holt, maybe Vaughn's. Someone's betrayed them, sold their hiding place. Lena's eyes meet Jace's, fierce with love. She pushes him toward a crevice, a narrow escape. Live, she whispers. Jace resists, but her shove is firm. She'll hold them off. He crawls through, the rocks scraping his skin, and emerges alone, the desert silent. Gunshots crack behind him, and his heart breaks. Lena's gone, and Jace is nothing again. Winter grips Redstone, and Jace Tahoma is a ghost. The cave ambush cost him everything. Lena, the mine, his name. He fled, driven by her last word, live. The towns claimed the copper, Shaw and Vaughn splitting the spoils, the Cutlers laughing in their dust. Jace drifts, scavenging, hiding, his heart a cold ember. Rumors reach him. Lena's alive, maybe taken to a workhouse or worse. The scarf she gave him, woven with her hands, is all he has. He buries his knife in the sand, vowing to find her, to make Redstone pay. The desert's vast, but Jace is patient. He's survived worse, and he'll survive this. Years pass, and Jace becomes a wanderer, miner, gambler, shadow. He builds a life, small but his, the scarf always close. Redstone fades, its copper gone, its streets empty. In 1891, a letter finds him in a mining camp, written in Lena's hand. She's in Sagebrush, a town north, waiting. Jace rides, the desert blurring, his heart pounding. Sagebrush is green, soft, a world apart. He finds Lena in a garden, her hair gray, her scars softened by time. She smiles, and it's enough. They sit by a stream, the scarf between them. Lena writes, she escaped, hid, built a life. She never stopped hoping. Jace tells her of his vow, the years of searching. He shows her the letter, and she laughs, silent but warm. They don't speak of Redstone, only of now. As dusk falls, they walk to a meadow, Lena's hand in his. She picks a daisy, tucks it in his coat. They stand, the stars rising, and Jace knows he's home. The warriors returned, not to fight, but to love, and that's the truest victory.